What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is the preview to tomorrow's HBO Boxing After Dark showcase that's going to feature Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Johann Duhapas. And then on the main event, you have Danny Magic Man Jacobs versus the challenger Maciej Sulecki out of Poland. It's going to be very short, but I want to go into this because these are some interesting matchups. I'm going to start off with the heavyweight matchup. We have Jarrell Big Baby Miller that's coming out of New York. He's undefeated. I believe he's 20-0, and he's really trying to make a name for himself and get that big fight against anyone, whether it's Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder. It doesn't matter for him. He's hungry, and I'm not just talking about his size because he is a big boy. They weighed in. He's actually tipping the scales at 300 pounds, which is probably his biggest that I've seen. I think his last few fights, he was roughly around 290, 285 at the lowest. But he's fighting a guy who's been around the block in Johann Duhapas. Last time I saw Duhapas, he was getting knocked out by Alexander Povetkin in a short notice fight. Which he was clearly not in shape. And then before that, he took a knockout loss to Deontay Wilder. And there's a lot of people who take knockout losses to Deontay Wilder, but that's neither here nor there. In this fight, I'm really taking Miller. I just think that Duhapas, even though he's a good boxer, he really doesn't have much left, especially with the size, strength, underrated skill, and power that Miller has. Duhapas, if he comes in shape, he's going to work behind a very stiff jab. He likes to work behind that jab. Doesn't move too light. He's kind of awkward, but it's a heavyweight, so they don't move too much to begin with. But he really doesn't move his feet or his head too much. And Miller, unless you have the power to deter him or the hand speed and the movement to keep him off you for 12 consecutive rounds, then you really don't have a whole lot that you can do against him. Like I said, he's 300 pounds. He's a muscular 300 pounds. The only thing you can do is not get hit and kind of outlast him, maybe tire him out over several rounds. But he's always coming forward. Like I said, he's a lot quicker and he's got underrated skills. He can work behind the jab, but he's just going to keep coming forward. Duhapas, again, he can't get caught against the ropes. He can't get caught trapped because Miller does move with you very well. He doesn't over move. I mean, a guy that size, he's not going to move a whole lot to begin with. So look out for this to be about a I would say 6 to 8 round knockout for Miller. I just think he's way too hungry. He's way too big. And Duhapas, when he has stepped up to his best competition, he has been knocked out. He has some quality wins versus Robert Helenius and Manuel Char, but other than that, he's got 4 losses, and they're pretty bad losses. So I just don't think he has enough, even at 6'5" and about 245. He's not going to be able to keep Miller, who's about 6'4", 300 pounds, off him. And there's not a lot of guys who's going to be able to do that either. So we're going to move on to the main event. That's going to feature Daniel Jacobs versus the Polish Maciej Sulecki. He's got some very good wins. I think his best win on showcase on television was against Hugo Centeno, who I think he was brought in to maybe lose against. Then he also sent Gregor Proska into retirement. And I was impressed with what I saw. Doesn't have a lot of power, but I think he has about 5 knockouts in his last 6 or 7 fights. So as of late, he's been getting knockouts, but I think he's 24-0 with about 12 knockouts. Not a really good knockout ratio, but knocking out more people lately, which means he's either had some changes in his conditioning, strength, or even changes in his technique. From what I can see in his fights, he's very sharp. He definitely moves. He's aggressive. He likes to work behind the jab, and he loves to throw that lead left hook. Actually, I would say that's his favorite punch. It's just to throw that left hook. And he can feint with the jab and go right into the hook, or he likes to jump in with that hook. But he doesn't use the right a lot. I know he stunned Centeno. That's the only fight I can find with him with the 1-2, which is great because he doesn't smother his punches. He loves to work from the mid range, and again, he's aggressive. He loves to move forward. He has really, really good footwork. Um, the only problem with that, because he doesn't have a lot of knockouts, he's going up against a guy in Jacobs where his chin was questioned after his knockout loss to P-Rug and getting knocked down by Sergio Mora. So he's taking punishment almost unnecessarily from guys. And then we saw in that fight with Golovkin that he found that he could take the power of Golovkin and deliver it right back. So he's been very confident in his chin, his defense, his ability to remain aggressive and move forward. And in the second half of fights, if you look at the fight with Luis Arias, almost starting out immediately with Mora, or even with Golovkin, he was able to move forward when he found that he could get you in trouble. He does this thing where he leans to his left, and he's either going to come with kind of like a left upper hook or an overhand right. And it's very tricky to kind of time because you really don't know where that punch is coming from. It's a very hesitated look, but it's a good look. He can be hit with the right hand, and what I would like to see Sulecki do is actually work the body. But even in his aggressiveness with that left, even though he can work that body and then start bearing up by bringing that hook upstairs, if Danny Jacobs is not afraid of his power, and if he can't work, and if he gets inside of that jab, if he starts giving ground, too much ground, Danny Jacobs is only going to become more aggressive and start working off his jab, throwing 2 or 3, and then he's probably going to lead with the right hand. And that's the last thing, because once he starts getting aggressive, he will start to throw several combinations off that jab. And then as soon as he gets you up against the ropes, he's just going to let his hands go. I've never seen Sulecki really hurt. And he's been able to take very good punches. He's actually, I believe, either the same height or a hair taller than Jacobs and may have longer arms. And he hydrates up to about 175 or so. But we know Jacobs, he will go up to about 175, 180 himself, and he's very muscular. He doesn't overmove. He will stalk, but he's very athletic, and he can get out of danger when he feels the need to. But he can also get to his opponent very quickly as well. So I just want to see who gives up space first. And again, if Sulecki decides that he feels Danny Jacobs' power and it's taking a toll on him, don't look for that to be competitive. Someone like that, somewhat like the Arias fight, but I think Sulecki is faster and maybe a little bit more athletic. I can't see Danny Jacobs knocking him out. I mean, he has the power and the skill to knock him out, but I don't think he's going to knock Sulecki out because I think Sulecki is smart and will look to survive and score rather than trying to knock out Jacobs. There are some other fights on tonight. I believe there are some fights on BN Sports and Fox Sports. Ryan Garcia, I believe he fights tonight as well. If you give me a second, I can double check and we can go from there. But yeah, I got 2 phones. Not proud of myself, but yeah, I got 2 phones. But there are several other fights going on. It's a great fight weekend. But I can smell Showcase, and you should probably be able to smell Showcase as well. And I'll be able to tell you in one. Oh, we also have Jesse Magdaleno fighting South African Isaac Dagbo, Brian Jennings versus Joey Dweko, and Jesse Hart versus Damon Nicholson. And opening that fight is going to be Shakur Stevenson. That's on the ESPN card, so definitely check that out tomorrow. I believe that starts about 8 or 9. And Katie Taylor will be featured on the the HBO card as well. It's going to be for the women's lightweight title unification, so that should be fairly entertaining because she is a very entertaining fighter. Other than that, that's all I got for you. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to it. Share with your friends, get them to subscribe so we can bring you even more content on our channel. Hit the bell icon so you get all the updates, all the videos that we are releasing. We're going to try to bring you some more videos coming next week. I know we have a pretty good fight week going on next week. Feel free to hit us up on Facebook, Google+, email, capitalcombat@gmail.com. Comment below. We are open to talk to you at any time. Just be respectful to us and yourselves. And until next time, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming.